It's...
Alright, I'm gonna turn this game's volume down. It's loud as shit. Alright, so new game, starting from the very beginning.
Okay. I'm gonna start at Drakengard because a lot of things are gonna like play into NieR Automata. So Drakengard came out, 2006 or 2004, one of those two. And it was in development during the time of when Square and Enix were merging. Kingdom Hearts 1 came out 2 years prior. So I'm a little crappy with dates. That's why I said 2004, 2006. And Kingdom Hearts was doing decently well. However, the three people that were tasked by Square to make another fantasy story, they wanted something that was the polar opposite of Kingdom Hearts. However, Yoko Taro and two other people working on it. Yoko Taro was just like he was an animation lead, and he was like, well, I want to make things look a bit more like fantastical, or with an older cast, characters and creatures that look like this, not your typical like JRPG like people. So they were going back and forth with like the story and all that, and Yoko Taro was just drawing his thing. The two developer leads just bailed, and then they just let him handle it. They're like, hey, you seem to know what you're doing, there you go, you do it. And he essentially wanted Drakengard to be aerial dragon combat only, because the aerial portions of the game were phenomenal. However, when Square Enix, when the merger finally completed,
This is Command.
sorry, I'm chugging the energy drinks.
To be here. All units have penetrated the
Excuse me.
stratosphere. Autopilot systems green across the board.
When development was almost completed,
We've passed the 50-kilometer
Dynasty
threshold
Warriors
and are
3
pushing
was
toward
like
the target.
kind of ripping and tearing, and
Once you reach their anti-air defenses,
the one of the producers was like,
then destroy the
oh,
Goliath-class unit by
this is
using
very
necessary
popular,
and
you need to
gather
add this in the game.
Understood.
So Yoko Taro was like, oh, I guess I can tie it into the game.
Well,
So if you
down.
ever want to
All
experience
units activate manual mode
Square
and rely on visuals
Enix's
to evade.
darkest story ever, like nothing ever comes close to it,
Origin
you would
point
need to
long-range
emulate
lasers
it.
confirmed.
You would need like a PS2 emulator. It's a product of its time. The ground combat is
11
very,
feet down.
very basic. You're gonna kind of see it in NieR Automata because it kind of didn't really change that much. However, Yoko Taro has a thing of like,
Alert. Enemy unit sighted ahead.
you are questioning why and what you're doing
Requesting permission to
kind of all the
engage.
time.
Permission granted.
In Drakengard, your main dude, his name was Kaim, and his partner's name was Angelus. She was
70
Dragon.
down.
1 second. Crimson Fucker, good evening, buddy. How you doing tonight? I'm listening to my boy Manny lore dump about this series because there's much for me to learn.
1D down. Assuming captain
Indeed.
duty.
And also, as you're seeing, Yoko Taro likes to add different game aspects to kind of spice up whatever genre he's playing or you're playing. In Drakengard, it was like swords and sorcery, and the whole plot was
Multiple
your main
targets
character
in the area
dude
confirmed.
was dying. He comes across a dragon who's also dying. They make a pact where he gets power to protect his sister, who's a goddess, who's also a seal, which keeps away this ultimate evil in their world. When Kaim makes a pact with the dragon, he gives up his ability to speak. This is very important. So they share life and all that whatnot. You don't need to know a whole lot about Drakengard, but the ending that leads into NieR Replicant and Gestalt was a so-called joke ending, or it was supposed to be a joke ending. because you had to go through so many loops
being down.
just to get to that ending, and even the boss fight was a rhythm game where you had to figure
Two
out
Legion
what
operators
to do.
6-0.
It didn't give you
All
any button
allied
prompts,
units
didn't give you
down. The operation is
any like
compromised.
tips. It's
Awaiting
like
further
you're
orders.
flying around in a circle. There's a
Operator
ring coming
Chewie,
at you.
we need
Figure
you
it
to
out.
rendezvous with Unit 9S
Um,
and gathering data on the
And
local
if it's a
terrain.
one-hit kill,
Understood.
so if you fuck up, you have to start the previous series of boss fights and story bits,
All
and it was
over.
nuts. It was nuts, dude. So, that ending had basically the seeds of resurrection were they coagulated to make a new goddess, pretty much, because there was a cult group that wants to basically reform the world, because they're like, there's too much crazy stuff going on around, all these mythical creatures with magic powers and humanity just not being able to be good enough. They wanted to get rid of all that, make it all one. Due to the actions of Kime and the other pact bearers, they kind of sort of succeeded and failed at the same time. They end up fighting the goddess, or the new goddess. She's like, yo, I'm getting my ass kicked. I'm gonna go portal jump to Tokyo. So she ends up jumping to Tokyo. Kime and Angelus follow through the portal. They do their big boss fight. They kill the goddess, right? As they're celebrating their win and trying to figure out how to go back, 2 fighter jets kill Angelus and Kine.
Damn.
As the goddess is, dude, it was supposed to be a joke ending, because the goddess looked like a pop singer that was popular at the time. I can't remember her name, but she also agreed to it. She's like, yeah, I'll be a big naked goddess that's like Evangelion. It was hilarious, man. When I heard that in the interview, dude, I laughed my ass off. So when the goddess died, she disintegrated and it turned into like this like ash or snow or whatever, and it caused basically a new epidemic or a new pandemic, which was just wiping out humanity, because we did not have magic in this world. So all the magic bullshit that was bleeding out because of this goddess was killing off all of humanity. As the goddess was like fading into nothingness, she basically reaches out to all of humanity,
One moment.
and she's like, okay,
One moment, Demi Kami. Thank you for the gifts. Good evening to
Alert.
you.
Large enemy group detected.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Crimson Fucker, Demi Kami. Here we go. Hamburger time. Good to see y'all. Okay. Square for light attack. Okay, cool. Hold on. Yeah, I was gonna say, give me a second. I'm figuring this out.
so yeah, you're gonna do combat that's basic square, light, triangle, heavy. I think circle is your dodge. It might be circle or one of the L2 or R2. Very weird. Where was I? So the goddess reaches out to all of humanity, and she's like, if you don't want to die from this illness that's affecting your world, make a pact with me, which is basically you give up something to have like eternal life or power or whatever, and you will be spared from whatever this is. So when the people that said yes, I want to survive, I want to protect my family and my children, they ended up turning into shades. And they're basically just like evil, like magic entity or whatever. That's the best I can explain it. I don't want to spoil too. No, I'll spoil it. Fuck it.
This is NieR Automata, Crimson Fucker, and Nothing to Nowhere. Good evening. I'm liking it so far, but it's hard as shit. I forgot how to heal.
Is that our target?
Negative. This enemy is unrelated. Proposal.
I think there are items you can
Dispatch it as
use to
swiftly as
heal.
possible.
You don't say.
So
I'm about to
anywho,
die.
this starts NieR Replicant. Like NieR Replicant starts at this point. So people that agree to the pact turn into shades. When humanity was like going up to the dead goddess, and they see this bleeding dragon and this like other guy who's dying. He's like trying to communicate. They're like, who the hell is this guy with like a sword and like armor and shit, and why can't he talk? And he's trying to say, hey, save my dragon, save my, I love her, whatever, yada yada yada. He's trying to explain like what the fuck's going on. He ends up dying. They take Angelus's body and they go do experiments with her blood, because they figure it out like, oh, we can do stuff with her blood to stop the apocalypse from happening, which kind of sort of through using her blood they make they were able to separate your body and soul, because like your soul can go around and do shit, but your body can't because of the bacteria that's everywhere. So your bodies are being, humanity's bodies are being stored somewhere, and then your soul gains a physical form and it's just doing stuff. And the Shades, which were the people who made a pact with the goddess, were kind of getting a bit crazy. So humanity's like, we need something to help us fight the Shades. And then they made the robots that you're seeing right now.
Yeah.
All of these robots were made to fight the Shade. So as you play Replicant or Gestalt, whichever one, your first playthrough, you're not really hearing or learning as much from the Shades. You do get some instances of like, not all of them are evil, they're just trying to like exist. Your second playthrough, you start hearing them, like their internal voices and stuff. Like you'll see dialogue boxes pop up, and you're L2 or R2, one of those two. Because L1 and R1 is your floating dude, if I'm correct.
R2 is to run, R1 is to fire, L1 is to charge up the floating dude shot. And nothing to nowhere that is cool as fuck. That's a cool detail. Too bad I'm playing in English. Louis V.
Oh yeah.
Make sure he's actually dead next time.
Where was I?
That was dangerous, man.
So your second playthrough, you start seeing like, oh, the Shades are actually like communicating. They're trying to talk to you. Their speech isn't like garbled mess. Because like when you fight them, you hear weird noises in your first playthrough, but in the second one, you actually like hear them. And one particular quest you do has you go into like this junk heap, and you learn of a Shade and a robot become friends because the Shade's mom
I'll work my way inside
goes out
from the
to
ground.
fight you. Goes out to fight you and some other people who are trying to like break in and rob the place. The robot tries to protect the owners of the scrap heap, but ends up getting his ass kicked, and he has to go back repair himself. The Shade's mom ends up getting killed by you, the player. And so when the
Are we still talking about NieR Gestalt or Replicant right now?
Yeah. Because this quest line leads into Automata.
Okay.
Let me look. Yeah. So this Shade and this robot, as you play through the game of Replicant, kind of form like a friendship, and they're going around exploring, and they're talking about like, we don't want to like fight or do anything. We just kind of want to chill and exist and explore the world or whatever. And certain quests you do will either kind of like advance their ideas, or it'll just have them like keep exploring and having fun or whatever. When you end up fighting the robot and you have a choice to do a big magic kill, which you get, experience, weapons, loot and all that shit. And you can also choose to kill the Shade, which is a child. It's a small little creature. And then that also gives you like magic or whatever. You can choose to do it, or you could just choose to let them bail or whatever. After that fight, they're like, yo, fuck this shit. We need to get out of here, and we need to get whoever wants to come with us. And then that quest line ends with them going to space, because they're like, screw this shit, we don't want to fight anymore, we're tired of all the death, we didn't know it was going to be like this. So they leave, and they take whoever wants to come with them. That starts near Automata. Let me check my
Gotcha.
notes. Other things to note. Yoko Taro likes you to question things, like, why are you doing these things? Am I only attacking because is there like a health bar present, or you're questioning a lot of things that you do. There's some other stuff.
I figure that
I'm watching you.
I figured
Yeah.
as much from what I've seen when I got a little bit into the lore of the NieR series, where it seems like Yoko Taro's big fucking thing is making you question why you're doing what you're doing. Is there a real reason and purpose for this?
Yeah, because if you look at the robots, they're like doofy as hell. And they're based off of the robot's design from Replicant. He was like a big doofy dude because humanity didn't know how to build shit. He is known for doing big story dumps like they're just a normal conversation. So it would behoove you to play without a Discord chat, so you can kind of like pay attention and be like, oh wait, what? Because they'll just casually drop stuff, and you're like, what?
No, that's what I'm doing. I'm listening to you, but I'm also listening to the game, and that's why I told everybody else to leave, because if it was too many people talking, I wouldn't be able to listen to anything.
Oh yeah.
Ma'am?
What
I
is
know
it?
in the beginning there's not a
Send you the
whole
map
lot
data I
because it's
collected
showing
earlier.
off like,
Do
oh,
it.
look at what we can do when I have creative freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing about Yoko Taro is he wants to have absolute creative freedom, but he often gets shafted by producers and other people.
Mm-hmm. And Gene, happy Juneteenth to you as well.
Happy
Carry on.
Juneteenth, man. As you're seeing it right now, you weren't supposed to play as her. That was another. You were supposed to play as everything else but her.
But everybody else died.
No, they were like, we noticed a trend that people like to play as a girl.
Oh, really?
And so yes, if you look at Drakengard 3, that was like his third or fourth cast of characters that he was just like, here, do you want all girls? They're like, yes, that can work. In the original draft he had, there was probably like one or two, and then they're like, we like these two, not everyone else. So he had to like redo it, and it was the same thing with NieR Automata. They were like, we like everything about this, but maybe change the main character. And that's why you're playing as 2B.
I don't know what I just did. I kind of teleported.
Yeah. Oh, you're like a special combat droid or whatever. So you can mix and match your light and your heavy attacks, your dodge attacks, your guard attacks. The combat's very basic, but he focuses more so on story and environmental bullshittery. Another note, he took advice from Hideo Kojima when it came to motion capture, because once when you get to the bigger maps and you're able to free change the camera, you can watch 2B go from a light jog to a full-on sprint, and the lady who was motion capturing that, they said, hey, this is going to be a little weird. Can you run on this treadmill for like 5 minutes? And they had like, I think it was like 16 cameras watching her like run, and she had like the suit on. She's like, yeah, it's a little weird, but I'll do it. So yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff.
Looks like she's booking it.
Because I think she was an Olympic sprinter, or it was some event.
Like her stride looks incredibly professional.
Exactly, and they wanted it to be like, because if you play Replicant, the kid runs like he's a doofus, and I'm like, They wanted the double jump to feel good. They wanted the running to feel good. They wanted the dodging. He wanted everything to feel like this character was built for this.
Mm-hmm.
There is 2 hidden multiplayer elements in the game. You'll have to find out what they are on your own. You do not have to level up every weapon to max just to get different endings. Hey, babe. Yoko Taro considered NieR Replicant and Gestalt a failure because they didn't gain popularity until after Automata has been out for a few years.
So in other words,
No, she doesn't.
They failed at the box office initially, but later down the road.
Yeah, because
Go ahead.
Replicant came out in 2010, 2011. So I was in boot camp getting ready to deploy when it came out. So I missed it and then got back into it when I came back stateside. Take your time when you are in certain scenes where you get the free move. Not like when you're the free action, whatever, but when you're in like a cutscene and you can move around and stuff. Take your time because your characters will drop dialogue, and sometimes you'll like leave the room and you'll just skip like a bunch of like dialogue or whatever.
Gotcha. Trelana, good to see you.
There's another bit. There's another bit. I could talk about Drakengard a little bit.
So open it.
Because there's not much for Replicant. Or like once when that side quest is done. You're gonna see some things. Yeah, you're gonna see some things that
I'm figuring out how to do that quick dodge.
Oh yeah. There's gonna be scenes and stuff that are like gonna be monumental for people who played like Drakengard and all their other titles. Like it's gonna be like super cool for us, but for people who are just jumping in the Automata, they're gonna be like, what's so important about this place? So yeah. Yoko Taro is infamous for no happy endings and doing stuff like delete your save game to save the world. So get ready for that.
Bring it on.
Again, you do not have to level up. I have to double verify because I did it out of habit. You do not need to level up weapons to the max.
He seems to also really like bullet hells.
Yeah. I think that's what he did back in the day. He was a fan of bullet hells and
Cool,
arcade games like that.
How the fuck do I dodge these bullets?
You either smack them or you use your droid dude to shoot them.
And I'm like, how do I deal with these bullets? They're just...
You can also lock on, like in like Dark Souls or whatever. Let's see, last bit.
I'm glad you're here.
Why?
Scanners like me mostly work alone. Scouting out enemy lines and all that.
No, I just have a lot of notes and lore about Drakengard because I was really hyped to talk about it.
Sorry, ma'am.
And another
I'm listening to the dialogue.
thing,
Hold
stop
on.
calling me ma'am.
Huh?
It's unnecessary.
Alright then. 2B it is.
Damn, she's a hard ass. Don't call me man.
Mm-hmm.
But Ghoul, how you doing tonight? Trelana, I'm doing alright. How about you? Alright, so shoot the bubbles that get blasted at me?
Yeah, because I think you get a certain weapon later where you could just slap them.
Eye on Spike.
No, I'm going to do it right now.
Good afternoon.
But yeah, other than that, make sure you read stuff. there's not a lot of like character conversations that like how it would be in like Expedition 33 or like Baldur's Gate, but interacting with your character does add some flavor to like when you're doing stuff. But anywho, I think that's it for now. I will probably on a later date gush about Drakengard because that's one of my favorite games of all time.
Well, I've learned a lot. It's like what I've taken away from this. Also, I'm sweating. I don't know why I'm fucking sweating. What I've taken away from this is that a lot of fucking shenanigans happened in the past that created the world of NieR. But how he went from a joke ending to this to NieR Replicant and Gestalt to eventually this is that's wild.
Yeah, because he was a fan of like branching storylines and basically saying like, well, if they didn't do it at this point, or if you did something differently here, how would that change the story? And so like I think Drakengard 1 had 9 endings, with the last one being the joke ending, but everyone was like super like zeroed in on that. And then with NieR Replicant, with that having like what? I think no, because Automata has 26 endings. With like your main line being like just play through the game or whatever, and then it has like other things you could do that would end the game. I can't remember if fishing was super important in Automata, but you can take your time and fish if you ever want to.
Love fishing in mini games. In video games.
This one's pretty lax, if I remember correctly.
I hope it fucking better be.
Because I don't remember doing it a whole lot, but I know you get stuff from fishing.
I did, Debo and Gould. Not right this second. This is just me and Manny for now.
You will see like broken androids throughout the world, and those are other players.
Oh,
and
really?
They will have like, yeah, they're like broken. Like, hey, you died because you did something dumb, and you can leave like a haiku or whatever about like how you died or something silly.
Aww.
Yeah, man, it's hilarious. Or like, I know they have like a bloody palace kind of thing, but yeah.
I feel really weird. Why am I sweating?
Because it's too much lore.
No, I am legitimately. I feel. Whoo, this is a weird feeling. Calm down. And Debo, it wasn't fast. That DLC took a while for me to beat. That shit was beating my ass. Ugh, Manny, I do appreciate you trying to get me this game. I think it's funny though that I already got it. I was just.
Yeah, I was like.
I don't remember when I bought it.
I was like, wait, he already has it?
I don't remember buying it.
Oh, yeah.
It must have been a long time ago, well before I ever started streaming.
I think one final tip for me is your second playthrough is going to feel stupidly similar to the first, but just pay attention to like some details are going to be a bit different. Mm-hmm. And those are going to be important things to look out for. I think that's pretty much it. Exploration is rewarded. There are mini bosses scattered throughout the overworld and all that stuff. Keiichi Okabe was one of the main composers for the soundtrack, so if you want to blast that, go right ahead. Dude is a phenomenal, has a phenomenal skill set. Yeah, I think Automata was Yoko Taro's best-selling game, if I remember correctly. Anyway, enjoy the game. If you ever want me to come in and dump some more lore knowledge or give you some tips and tricks, more than happy to.
I appreciate that, and I'll keep you posted.
Indeed, have a good game.
Take care. Give me 1 second, y'all. Oh, why was my... Alright, I'm starting to cool down. Maybe it's because of the way I was sitting. Take care, High on Spite. I'm about to go in a little bit too. Fucking shit.
I failed to mention that Yoko Taro is friends with Miyazaki.
Of course he is. That does not surprise me.
And he didn't want to make a Berserk clone and went for Evangelion references.
I respect that, Manny. Ugh. Damn, it's 6 o'clock already? Motherfucker. Hey guys, I'll be back in a bit, alright? Give me a bit. Peace.